Showtime.
Before the big screen mainstream actors today.
Well, so Doug, here's a question. How can you tell the difference between the real NFT and fake?
Welcome to the Tech School Podcast, powered by DSDT, top of the hour on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Josh virtually today. And my good friend.
I am Carlos in the studio today.
All right, Carlos, how is it going at DSDT?
It's been hectic around here the last couple of days. It has been too hectic.
What has made it hectic, my friend?
So we had classes start yesterday. So we have a new class that are in and instructors that are finding their way. We had a few new instructors. I mean, it's just been really, really hectic. And so I guess that's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. So, but we're still in the process of ironing out some of that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what can I do? It's just, for me, it just becomes a lot more hectic than what I'm used to. So it is.
But it will always work itself out, as it always does.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep telling myself, but I just don't know.
And you know, with today being busy, hectic, later in the show, we're going to have more of the admissions team from DSDT kind of breaking down the process of how everything works, how everything is going. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I thought that, it was about time, because I know often we hear from some of the students as they're beginning to have those initial conversations with our admin reps that, well, is this a scam, or I don't believe that the school exists. So what better way than for us to have an open conversation of dialogue about what the process is, so that, people get a firsthand view of who our admin reps are. And this is not by any way all of them, but I think that it's enough of them for you to be able to understand who they are, what they're doing for DSDT, and how impactful they have been in the building of DSDT. So
transparency. Transparency. That's what it's all about.
Yep, it actually is. And I probably should have had this conversation a long time ago. Now, if you remember, and he'll be on in a minute, Francis, which is he's the admission representatives offshore manager. He's been on before, but, I thought that we should take it actually a step further, because there's so many of them that are working under the hood. And that's why I asked them a moment ago, I was like, is anybody nervous? And they were like, well, we all are nervous. Wow, how so, right? Well, mainly because they're so used to being behind the scenes, so I just want to take a moment to recognize them, and at the same time, have a conversation with them about, what the process is like, because they're the ones that really know. Because I guarantee you, they know more than I do in regards to the process sometimes. And I'm just saying, I created it, but they really know how it works. So just want to bring them up, and because some things have changed since I was even doing the enrollment myself. And so, they know more on the day-to-day basis what it all is included in getting a student through the process, and what they really need to be privy of as they're contemplating coming to DSDT. So let's just have that conversation and, see where it goes.
All of that information will be presented right before the listeners, the viewers today. So they'll
Absolutely.
have most, if not all, questions answered.
If you have any more questions, then you'll know who you're going to be talking to when you reach out to them. I'm just saying, Hey,
and in many ways, that's having your questions answered. Well, you may not know exactly what you need to know, but you know who to go to.
That's right. That's right. They know exactly who to go to should they have these questions. And not all the time are you going to get an answer from a Carlos or from a Jamie. And I think that in the beginning, as we were starting out, there was always a Carlos or a Jamie answering those questions. But now, I mean, we have way too much going on. We absolutely are. And I was just on the phone earlier this morning with another school administrator, and we were talking about expanding their admissions team and how, there comes a point when you just can't do those things that you used to do in year one. DSDT has been here now 7 years, almost 7 years here in the Southwest Detroit location. And so definitively, if you send me an email or you make a call to the school or you don't get me, don't get upset. Don't get upset. I don't have time right now. So you're going to speak to one of the admissions team representatives. Okay. So that's what this is about today.
We absolutely love it. Love it. What is our good friend Amber going to be talking to us about momentarily?
Well, don't
Amber Boone.
That's right. Don't wait for me to tell you what it's about. Let Amber tell you herself.
Amber. Amber Boone, good afternoon to you, our good friend.
Thank you. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I was just telling Carlos, I'm still trying to play catch up from Vegas.
Well, before we even get into the tech news, Amber, you have to give us an update on Vegas. You were out there last week when you jumped on the podcast. Explain what you're out there for again and the experience.
Yeah, so I was out there for EXPCon, which is a conference for EXP, which is the real estate broker that I'm signed with. So it was just a lot of extracurricular kind of learning opportunities. I got certified to be a relocation specialist, meaning for instance, big companies like GM or whatever, Amazon, that relocate employees. Maybe they want to fly somebody and have them move from New York to Detroit or something. Then being a relocation specialist, I can work specifically with those clients now, which I'm very excited about. So I got that certification while I was out there. But then also I did a lot of touristy stuff. I've been to Vegas several times, but I've never really fully partook in kind of the whole tourist experience. So I did the high roller. I did they have a new spot out there called Area 15, which is insane. It was incredible. Luminarium, which also was a very, very amazing tourist kind of experience. They have just so many different things. The Stratosphere, we went to the top of the Stratosphere. We did the little tour bus where we rode around Vegas and took pictures and videos and stuff. So really cool.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
And give us the name of the conference one more time.
EXPCon.
EXPCon. EXPCon.
Yes.
Is it pecan or pecan? I'm just asking for people that want to know.
That's not what EXPCon is, but it's pecan, isn't it?
It's pecan or pecan. I just want to know. I'm country. I'm just saying.
All right, Amber. Well,
hold on, Josh. Amber makes a good point. Amber makes a great point, right?
Yeah.
So, myself, I've been to Vegas quite a few times, and every time I go, I've never once played poker in any of the hotels. And I have this thing that when I go this next time, I want to play at the Bellagio. Just because I've never done any of those touristy things that I'm often out there and just don't have time to do. So definitively, that's one of my go-tos when the next time I get to travel out to Vegas.
Well, yeah, so all the times that I've been to Vegas, I think I played the slot machines one time for 2 minutes, but I've never actually done the casino thing either.
Yeah.
There is so much more to do in Vegas aside from gambling.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is it? I know. I mean, because I play poker around Detroit, right? And
I'm big on the pool parties. That's me.
Yeah. So, and people that travel specifically to Vegas to do whatever, your fancy is. And so I've been playing poker for many years, and I just never, ever had the inkling when I was in Vegas to play. And now that I say that, I probably know why too. It's probably because my wife is like, you can't
get out of my
house.
I'm just saying. You said no.
You should appreciate that.
I'm just saying. That's the truth. I'm always going to tell you the truth. So
100%.
Right. Amber, so what do you have for us today?
Yeah, so just a couple of updates today. One is regarding TikTok and TikTok is actually giving users more control over their lives and giving more restriction opportunities for, I say opportunities because I'm over 18. So restriction opportunities to moderate content for those under 18. Basically what they're doing is they're rolling out, it's still in process, but they're rolling out a version to where you can restrict your TikTok lives for users above, so that people under 18 can't join your lives. Not that TikTok is allowing adult content, because they still have their user guidelines and restrictions in place. So no adult content. But say, for instance, if there's somebody doing comedy on TikTok Live and maybe it's, adult rated comedy, and they don't want, people under 18 joining, they can put restrictions on their lives so that people under 18 cannot join the live, which I think that's a really good tool to have. Because there's a lot of adult content on TikTok, even though it's not adult content, it's still very grown content that I wouldn't want my children seeing. So I love that they're taking additional steps to kind of protect the younger users and keep them. They're just constantly identifying more opportunities to figure out like how to direct childlike content to the users under 18 and then more adult content to the adults.
I can't understand though, how do they even know if the account that's looking at whatever the feed is, whether or not it's really a youth or an adult? I mean, because like I say, Charlie, our grandson, he's 7. I'm sure he could go on and make his own profile. And at the end of the day, he can get into anything that's 18 plus.
Right. But there are parental controls in the TikTok app, and all parents should be aware, like there are parental controls in the TikTok app where you can go in and you can link your adult account to your child's account so that you can control it from your account, even if you guys have different devices or what have you. In addition to that, I mean, we should all, if you have, a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, however old they are, you should know what your child is doing on that app. So you should have access to that app, be able to go in that app, be able to modify the restrictions. And if you go into an app and you see that they're signed in as an 18-year-old, they got their birthday wrong so they can access stuff, then that app needs to be deleted. And if they are allowed to have it again, then reinstalled with the proper age.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. That's powerful.
What kind of problems, Amber, have you been seeing with adults and children kind of blending in with as far as content on TikTok, leading to this new resource?
I haven't personally seen any, but I can only imagine the issues. Personally, the only run-in I've had, so I go live, I would say 5 to 7 times a week. And most of the time I read books. So it's not like I'm doing anything grown. I usually read books, but I also always have conversations with everybody in my live. And I remember, I think maybe it was last week or the week before that, there was somebody in there and they were just asking me random questions. We were just having good conversation, but the dialogue, I thought I was talking to an adult, and it didn't change. It wouldn't have never changed the conversation we were having because it was very G-rated. But it's just that once I learned their age, I was like, oh crap, what if I would have said something? Because I didn't know that you were a teenager. I thought you were an adult. So that for me was a wake-up call. Like, wow, I sometimes forget myself that I do these lives and I have conversations, and a lot of it, although again, not anything like X-rated, it's still adult conversations, work, being parents, dealing with domestic violence, things like that. So it is kind of like grown folks conversations that I wouldn't want my children to be a part of. So I certainly wouldn't want a child in my life having those conversations about grown folks business. So yeah, but also just seeing like, my stepson, he's on scrolling a lot. And sometimes if he doesn't have his headphones, thank goodness, like I overhear something, I'm like, what are you on? What are you scrolling through? Why are you listening? Mm-hmm. It's not my video. It's something I'm scrolling through. I'm like, okay, well, let me see, because we need to check these settings again, because you should be seeing content like that.
Yeah. As Carlos alluded to a moment ago, it's the responsibility of parents to know what their child is on at all times, and to make sure the profiles we are communicating with are legit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know if that really happens. I'm just saying, right? Because I can tell you, my 17-year-old, she lost her phone for a year when she was 9. I happened to be in the device and I saw a video between she and her best friend, and they were using profanity, and that was the end of that. You know, as a matter of fact, they were starting a YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They were starting a YouTube channel and they were, you know, cussing like they were grown men. And that was a wrap to that.
Yes.
You know, so
As it was supposed to be.
it wasn't until she could display that she could be more responsible with the device. Now, I can tell you now, she's 17. I don't even want to see what's in that device now. I'm just saying, you know. But at the same time, I also am aware that, you know, a lot of parents don't necessarily hone the responsibility of checking these devices when their kids have so much access. You know, when I was a kid, I was telling them earlier, it was quite some time ago. When I was a kid, there was a thing, you know, don't talk to strangers. You know, don't talk to strangers.
It used to be that simple.
But what is that now? What is that now? Because, you know, you listen to Amber say that, you know, I was doing this live and I didn't realize I was talking to this kid. What does that even mean in a world to where you're so socially connected? You know, we didn't have that when we were
That
young.
has become a more convoluted comment.
Yeah. So for those parents who don't necessarily check the parental guidance in these apps, what would you suggest, Amber, to those?
I would suggest that they go into the TikTok app. If they don't have TikTok themselves, here's the thing. Any app your child has or has access to, you should have, even if you don't want to be on there. Download it on your own phone and get familiar with the app. Understand the features, the settings, the tools that are available to you as a parent, as well as the tools that are available to your child, so you know what you're dealing with, so that when you do go to check your child's phone, which you should be doing on a regular basis, you're able to go into that app and comfortably move around in it and adjust the settings as needed. And then also, again, if you have the app on your phone, you're connected with them on social. Like my son, he's 14 now, and I'm like, if you want any social media, I gotta be your friend on there. Like, we're gonna be friends on social. You don't get no Finsta account or no spam account or nothing like that. We're gonna be friends on there. And so you're gonna see all my cringy, because he cringes when he sees my TikToks. He's like, every time I get on TikTok, there you are doing something cringy.
I mean, it just shows, it's a reminder that following your child's social media is equivalent to helping them do their homework on a daily basis.
Yeah, it sounds to me like it's a full-time job in and of itself.
It is a full-time job.
Right?
It is. And it's scary. Like, parents don't listen. I have 2 adult children. And so when they were younger, when they were a teenager, this was when all of this stuff was still fairly new, especially for me as a parent, because, you know, it's not like I had social media growing up or anything. But yeah, and then once I started looking, I got scared to look again. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness.
It's scary when you start seeing like what. But the thing is, like Carlos, like you said, you know, with your daughter making the YouTube and you using adult language at that age and stuff, it's like they see the content creators doing this, and so they're just emulating that behavior. They don't really understand that, okay, you're 9 though, and it doesn't look right coming from a 9-year-old. Like, that's not okay. These content creators are older, hopefully.
Yeah, I get it. I'm gonna make this statement. I'm gonna make it because you guys know I always tell the truth.
Oh, we're going there.
Listen, my oldest, she'll hear this too. My oldest daughter, one time she told me something I couldn't post on social media. Guess what I did? I blocked her. Yeah, I blocked her because, you know, for me, I have the liberty as an adult to post, I believe, what I'm entitled to. You know, it's my platform. Whereas as a child, I really do believe that they have to be monitored, you know, and there's certain things that don't work for them that quite naturally may work for you. You know, and I think that children really don't understand it. And I say children, you know, they can be young adults or whatever, you know, but some of us have actually paid the price to be able to make certain statements. And to a degree, I just feel that way, you know, and there's some things that I don't talk about. There's some certain topics of discussion I just don't get into on social media. But then there's other things that I feel wholeheartedly about. And even though it may make even people near and dear to me feel kind of, you know, some way, hey man, it's liberty. I have the liberty to do that. And so depending on your scenario, if you're one of my kids and you try to tell me that I need to stop something, guess what? You getting blocked. I'm just saying. You're getting blocked. So parents, if there's any parents out there listening to me right now, there is a block button. You can block them, but you still should have access to theirs. I'm just telling you, right?
I was
right
going to say there are ways where you can restrict what they see of yours and you can still see their content or vice versa. Like I have people on my Facebook or Instagram that I don't necessarily want to not be friends, but I don't want to see their content either. So I just mute them so I don't have to look at their stuff. Like we're still friends, but I just don't want to see you. So the point being though, is there's so many different tools that you can use to your advantage that you can use to teach your children to use social media responsibly, and you can also help monitor that process.
Yeah,
right on.
That's well said. Well said. I'm just saying. All right. So next topic.
So next thing, speaking of children and social media, a company called Revise, which is a French startup, they are developing a mobile app for iOS and Android that is going to serve as a social media app, but completely educational. So they did a bunch of research, talked to a bunch of high school kids and asked them how do you learn best? What works for you? And, everybody said it was that they would rather learn from their peers than to learn from teachers. And they want to learn in an unconventional way. TikTok, I think it has a hashtag that's like learn on TikTok. And it's massively popular because people go on TikTok to learn how to cook things, how to decorate things, how to dress. I mean, you can go on TikTok and you can learn anything you want to learn. And it's the way in which it's being taught, right? And it's quick, because we have very short attention spans these days, especially children. So Revise is trying to create a TikTok-like app that high school students can go on and can learn about, all of the high school subjects, topics, things like that, but on an app that is specific to education. They're not going to find non-educational items like you would on TikTok.
I mean, but wait, this sounds intriguing, but let's also pump the brakes at the same time, because a feature on TikTok cannot replace a qualified teacher. It's like, sorry, boys and girls, like we get we're getting more of our information from social media. Go ahead, Amber.
It's a community-powered app, so there are going to be a lot of different, like there's teachers on TikTok. There's certified people on TikTok that are doing these educational videos, and the same thing would be Revised. So you would see that there are like qualified individuals that are teaching certain subjects and things like that who you could count on. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. We as a society, not even just kids, but we're all getting our information from the internet. If you don't know the answer to something, what do? You Google it. Google's not always right. The information that you pull from Google is not always accurate, because it's not like the encyclopedia of our days where we go and we know this is factual information. No, it's Google.
What's it? What's it?
Satire. Did I just age us?
Encyclopedia. You saying
okay, so
right.
All right, so a scenario like this, Amber, where a child is at home working on their algebra or science, history, social studies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That you can hypothetically go onto this feature and say, type in a question about X, Y, and Z, and maybe have a better chance at getting a little bit of assistance.
Absolutely. You could just find something specific to, algebra is a terrible example for me, because as soon as you start talking math, my brain shuts down. So let's say they wanted to know about like the history of the United States and they wanted to learn more about Columbus Day. Then they could type that into the search engine, into the app, and then they would, pull a bunch of videos regarding Columbus Day. So if they were writing a paper, doing a history project, something like that, or if they wanted to learn something about, English language arts, like how to use proper sentence structure or whatever it may be, then they would be able to find videos regarding that. And if they happen to just be scrolling or exploring the app, all of the content that is on there is education based, whereas TikTok is, entertainment, education, satire, etc. I'm excited for this app.
I like it. I like it.
I hope it takes off.
But I like it.
Pretty cool.
I like it. I mean, because a lot of us, especially me, I go to YouTube anyways when I'm trying to find something and I have questions. It's like how to do blah 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 blah. I always thought though that TikTok was more for the children, as opposed to, mini adult. And so I like to see how that actually transcends the differences between the two's learning paths. Children learn differently than us. And I know that, Josh was just saying a minute ago how, it's not necessarily going to take the place of an instructor, blah, 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 blah. But I'm here to tell you, and I hope you're listening to me at DSDT, education will not remain in the traditional sense that we had as children for much longer. It's not. Technology is revamping the entire way that we learn. Why do you have to spend the next 8 months in school learning how to do X, Y, and Z when you can look at a TikTok or revise or a YouTube video, and you can probably learn faster than you would if you were sitting there and letting me break it down to you for the next 24 weeks.
Absolutely, because the user gets to choose what they're learning and who they're learning it from. And that was one of the first, when they started researching, they reached out to high school students. How do you learn? When I was growing up and going to school, nobody sat down with me and said, hey, how can I best explain this to you? What is going to help you retain this information the best? And frankly, I've learned more on TikTok the last couple of years than I learned all of high school. I mean, because there's a bunch of people sharing their life experiences. I'm learning stuff from all across the globe, from people who I can easily digest it from, and for whatever reason, my brain picks it up and retains it, versus sitting in a classroom for an hour, having a teacher who talks in monotone, explain something to you that you keep zoning out because you can't.
Oh, Amber, you just made an excellent point. Okay, that's kind of what I was trying to get at earlier too. Or it's another question I had. What's the tone of instructors that will be on TikTok? Have you seen any of that yet, where it's more relatable to a child?
So I'm not sure. I haven't downloaded the app myself yet. I know it's really new. It's just, I think it's got 35,000 downloads or something as of now. So it's still very, very new. But the goal for them is that it's a social media like app, but it's not a social media app. So their goal is not for you to scroll on hours like you do on TikTok. It's for you to just jump on there and get bite-sized information, just what you need, and then get off the app. So they don't want to keep users on there. They just want to give them the information they need so they can get off and do their homework or go to school or go outside and play with their friends or whatever.
Okay.
I question it because it sounds to me like, you fight with a YouTube. YouTube is the 10,000-pound gorilla in the room, and I got another app now that's going to be dedicated specifically to education, but I'm so used to YouTubes and to the TikToks, and I don't know. I just don't see how, too successful they'll be.
So I'm wondering, though, if this is going to be a tool used by schools and by teachers. So when you're in school and they're teaching you a lesson, they can use this. They can pull this out their toolbox and say, "Hey, hop on Revise, and then look up this. Put this in the search engine." Because I think that would be, in my opinion, a great use for it if educational institutions can use this as another learning tool for their students, instead of the students not understanding it and then going home and looking up a YouTube video or getting on TikTok and looking it up and then being stuck on TikTok for 3 hours because they went to look for one video and they got sidetracked because their For You page was talking about a bunch of interesting stuff, and I think that's the caveat is this platform, I don't feel like you're going to run that same risk because there's a specific purpose and it's just for education, versus it's so easy to have social media induced ADD where you start to do one thing and next thing you know, it's 2 hours later and you've looked at 3,500 videos on how to tell the difference between gray wall and whatever wall.
Right. But you sound like you're talking from experience.
Not so much me, because I'm not a huge social media consumer. I post, but I don't consume a lot. There are times when I'm researching, right? So I'm trying to get ideas for content. But I know people. I know people who will get on to do one thing, and then 3 hours later they're like, "Oh my gosh, my bad. I was looking at how to redo my bathroom." It's been 3 hours. You got on there for something completely different.
Yep. I'm that person. I don't know about Josh, but I am that person. Yeah. Well, Amber,
the one good tidbit before we move on is it would be great if teachers use it during their classroom sessions.
Absolutely.
That would be key right there because they would be aware of it. You can guide a student to using it, elementary school age child. If you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly. We have to meet kids where they are. We're going to constantly have to, stay with the times. And if we want kids to learn, we want them to grow, we want them to thrive, we've got to meet them where they are.
Yep. What else is going on, Amber?
Those are the only two things that I really had to talk about today. I know we talked a few weeks back about the Twitter giving the advanced premium users, the ones who pay a monthly fee, the ability to edit their tweets. So I know that's officially started rolling out where people have 30 minutes now after you send a tweet. If you're a premium user, you can go in and edit that tweet. You have 30 minutes to get it done. That is officially rolled out.
Okay. How much is it going to again?
I don't remember that. It's a couple dollars a month. It's not too much.
I think you said like $4.99. I think it was.
Yes, it's about the cost of a cup of coffee at Starbucks or whatever your thing is.
Absolutely. Amber, so tell the people once again how they can follow up with you.
Yes, you can find me at Get Real with AB on any social media platform.
That's what's up. Amber, again, thank you for all that you've done for us in keeping us educated. And I wish you all the best. I see that you're actually going to be appearing on a new podcast too. Is that true?
So it's actually a show. It's not a podcast. And we've already started. We rolled out last week officially. It's called Every Woman. And yeah, it's like The View, but better, in my opinion. And
all right, where can we find it? What's going on? Yeah, come on.
It's myself, and I think there's like technically 8 women, but there's only like 4 or 5 of us on at a time kind of hosting the show. It's called Every Woman, EVRY for every. And you can find us on YouTube right now. But yeah, so it's a show where we get in and we talk about topics that are real to women. Last week we talked about, or actually this episode aired yesterday, where we were talking about women and firearms. Like, I learned so much. I've been to the range. I've done all of that. But we had a guest on who talked about, she started an organization where she educates women and helps them get their CPLs and really works with them to be comfortable owning, carrying, and using a firearm if and when necessary. It was really, really great. So, I mean, we talk about topics that are, good for anybody really, but particularly for women. It's called Every Woman. But it's a great set of women with diverse backgrounds and life experiences and things like that. And yeah, we've been doing this actually. This has been coming together for about 2 years. I auditioned back in January of 2021 and the first episode aired last week. So it's been a long time coming, but we're there now.
All right.
That's what's up. We're so proud of you, Amber. Keep up the great work. All right.
Great information right there. Amber Boone, thank you once again.
I want to be like Amber when I grow up.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be just like Amber.
So cool, so knowledgeable.
Yeah, right. I'm an expert in your field.
Yes.
No, seriously, an expert in your field. I mean, and every time she talks, it seems like you can, just hear it oozing.
She's relatable. She's
existence.
Knowledgeable and relatable.
Absolutely. 1,000.
She's great at meeting you halfway.
Yeah.
As she alluded to with this feature on TikTok Revise and the classroom, she knows how to. It's infotainment. That's what she brings every week to the podcast, and we greatly appreciate it.
That's right. That part, what he said. So coming up next, we this week are going to bring out our admissions representatives from the DSDT squadron.
The admissions team.
We want to bring them out because we definitively want to have a conversation with them in regards to the processes of DSDT, and maybe our students from this conversation can begin to put a face with these names and these voices that they've been having over the months. So why don't we just go ahead and bring them all out right now? Starting from the top, we're going to bring out Mr. Francis. We're going to bring out Miss, I want to call her Miss Camille, but she goes by the name of Joanna. We want to bring out Mr. Let's bring out Mr. Luis. We want to bring out Mr. I want to bring out Mr. Moses. I'm not here, but I guess Mr. Moses not here right now. We're gonna bring out Miss Glovey. And last and not least, I don't see his face, but we're gonna bring him out anyway, Mr. Tamoy. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, we're doing good, sir. How about you?
Okay, I like this. They've already made themselves their own speaker for the group.
Yes.
I'm just saying. So he's just going to step up and take over the whole conversation. And again, this is Mr. Francis, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Francis. Mr. If you guys remember, Francis has been on before to kind of talk about the process.
Mm-hmm.
And Francis, you hail from what country?
Philippines, sir.
Philippines. Let's say that one more time.
Yeah,
you're from where?
Philippines.
There it is.
Where's everyone based? Philippines. Where else?
So Joanna, she's actually from the Philippines as well.
Okay.
From
Joanna, can you wave? Can you wave to everybody, Joanna?
Hi.
There you go. There's Joanna.
Then the guy under Joanna is Luis. He's from the Philippines as well.
You guys see Luis? There he is.
And that pretty lady wearing glasses, her name is Glovey. She's also from the Philippines.
Glovey seemed like she's the one kind of nervous, but let's go anyways. I'm just saying.
And then the last guy at the bottom is his name is Timoy. He's from Jamaica.
Beautiful.
From Jamaica.
Now, from Jamaica, is he currently in Jamaica?
He is currently in Jamaica.
Yes, I'm currently in Jamaica.
Wonderful.
What part of Jamaica?
I'm in St. Anne. I'm in St. Anne at the moment.
St. Anne. What you mean at the moment? What, you gonna be somewhere else later? I'm just asking questions. At the moment,
not necessarily. I was somewhere else. I was somewhere else. I was in the capital for a while.
So what is the capital? So here we going down this rabbit hole. What's the capital of
Kingston.
Jamaica?
Kingston.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes.
How far do you live from the capital?
2 hours at max.
2 hours. All right. Okay. Well, inquiring minds want to know. I'm just saying. All right. Sorry, Josh.
From geography back to technology.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to lead the discussion off, and then we'll get to everyone else. Kind of break down the admissions process. Like, okay, I'm someone. I live in Paris. I've learned about DSDT. I want to inquire more information about DSDT. Where do I begin?
So it really depends. If you're in Paris, and you should be like, it depends if you're a general student or a veteran, right?
Let's say general. Let's say general student.
Okay, let's do the general. So if you're a general student, there's actually 2 types of funding source that you can use. So it's either you do the financial aid, and I know, Josh, you're quite familiar with that, FAFSA. And then the other one is actually what we call LEAF. So LEAF is an organization that actually covers the students' funding for the meantime while they're in class. And then they're only going to be paying them back through an installment terms once they already got the job. So those are actually 2 types of funding source that you can use. The good thing about it is, even if you're in Paris and you're an American citizen, let's say, you'll be able to take the classes online. And the thing about it, you can take 2 of our programs, and these programs are diploma programs. So it's 7.5 months. One is BITS, which is focusing more on the IT side of things. So more like cybersecurity and pen testing, to name a few. And if you're more on the creative path, so you can take one of our program, which we call Digital Marketing Professional. It's also 7.5 months as well. So you will learn how to do like web designing, graphic design, as well as social media advertising, and etc. So Those are diploma programs that you'll be able to take, and at the end of the program, what you'll be receiving is on the name itself. You'll be receiving a diploma just for 7.5 months.
Carlos, what are some of the common questions potential students present to you or Jamie? Let's direct some of those questions to the admissions team right now to see if we can get more of that information out there.
Okay, number one question is this a scam?
Okay, let's ask again. Is this a scam?
Is this a scam?
Is DSDT a scam?
Absolutely.
Francis?
Yeah, absolutely no. So, what we can actually do for us to be able to inform the student that this is not a scam is we actually can provide our website. They can check the programs that we're talking about, and they will be able to see all of the accreditations we have right there as well.
And where on the website can potential students find the accreditation?
The accreditation information is in the bottom. It's in the footer of the website. It has down our accreditation organization as well as a link to their website so that you can look up DSDT. Good question. Another question is, who is Joanna? Who is Joanna? I hear that often when someone calls in. They be like, look, someone named Joanna reached out to me. Who is Joanna? So, Joanna, can you please explain to the people who you are?
Oh, my goodness.
Hi everyone. Hi, my name is Joanna. I'm the assistant manager of admission team, and I do some trainings with the team as well.
So
aside from enrolling, yeah.
There you go. That's Joanna. In case you would, you had conversation with a Joanna, and Joanna, she just explained she does some of the training. As a matter of fact, she does most of the training for the new admissions representatives. True story.
Yes.
Joanna and Francis. Francis has been with us the longest. Joanna, I think, is second. Either Joanna or Moses. I don't remember. Who is it, Joanna? Is it you or Moses?
We just just 6 days difference, sir. Moses
6 days.
got here first with 6 days. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
1 week.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So Joanna actually is number 3 in line around here. All right. And let me just say this too, for those who may be watching this video later on. You ask, why do we have so many offshore talents? Mm-hmm. And it's real simple. The one thing that the pandemic, it allowed me, if not everyone in the building, to see is that DSDT can no longer be limited to just this brick and mortar that we're in. Like so many other businesses, we were trying to figure out how to keep the doors open as well. Mm-hmm. And so it just began to make itself more known that, you don't just have to work with talent that is just down the street from you. This technology that we are attempting to train you guys with, it allows you to dream bigger. And it allows you to not just have a local presence, but a global presence. So when you look at the team of DSDT now, it's not just, a Carlos and a Jamie here at our Detroit campus, but we have talent that's around the world. Literally, Philippines, Brazil, had Brazil for a while, Jamaica, South Africa. If you guys ever hear, and his name is Moses, that you have the pleasure of having a conversation with, he's not here today. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I know what it is. They have load shedding. If you don't know what load shedding is, YouTube it. I'm saying, YouTube it. So, luckily here in the United States, we don't come to really understand how our societies are so much different. And when I say, I mean cultures. Our cultures are different. And that's been one of the greatest things that I've been afforded to learn from these individuals is that, we're so similar and yet so many things are different. And so, I'm thankful to have this team and to be a part of their amazing contributions to DSDT as well as to the world. So just want you guys to know that. All right.
Amen.
Thank you as well, sir.
So Carlos, you said it's been hectic at DSDT today. It's been a good hectic. It's been busy. So with the admissions team here, let's lay out some of the things that's been going on at the location in Southwest Detroit and across the globe. What's been making things so busy?
That's a question for Francis. Can't nobody tell you better than Francis. I'm telling you. Listen, I always say Francis looked like he locks himself in the dungeon and just work. You know, I mean, he literally is the ghost within the system. So, Francis, what has made it so hectic around DSDT over the last few days?
For the last few days, it's for me, it's actually good hectic, like, right, because we're actually as you know, we're actually building platforms. We're getting more leads, especially social media platforms like Facebook. We're getting more leads, as well as we're actually adding more funding sources that veterans or general students can use, for example, tuition assistance. So we're actually trying to cover that up with all of the admissions representatives right here for us to be able to apply that funding source moving forward for those active duty members that can use that certain funding source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, so you say funding sources. Louise, can you explain to that person that's going to be watching this video at some point, what are the funding sources here at DSDT that they can take advantage of?
For general students, we do have LIF, ASFA, AIMB for general students, and for our military students, we do have GIBL, VRNE, VRAP, VETTEC, um, and credentialing assistance, also tuition assistance as well. The last one.
If I was giving you a test, you seem like you just passed it with flying colors. I'm just saying. Glovey, you haven't been with us as long as all the rest, but kind of tell that person that's going to be looking on the other side what it is about our programs, and as to what it is that they should enroll. Why should they enroll into one of DSDT's programs?
Being here for 2 months, I've learned that, in order for us to help you get hello.
Yeah,
we're here.
I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. I'm not seeing anyone in the screen yet. In order for you to be qualified to apply for any technology companies, we're here to help you get IT certification. And that's the reason we're here to enroll you to a program that will actually help you get qualified to any technology companies we're partner with, like Tech System, Logicalist, HP, Dialogue Direct.
Yeah. And see, that's something I really don't get into with them, because they do more of the actual enrollment, and you have another department that does the actual placement. So they are more wise as to what the companies are that we're working with and the positions that are available, right? This department here, their sole job, their sole purpose is to enroll students. Nothing more, nothing less. They don't do the retention. They don't do a lot of the hand holding that is done later on in their school path here at DSDT. They're solely to go out, find new individuals that are interested in what we have to offer, and get them enrolled. And they do an excellent job. I mean, just yesterday, how many students did we have enrolled, Francis? Well, what is he doing? What is he doing?
I think he's muted.
Are you muted?
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right, so just for yesterday, when I actually check it, we're actually enrolled like around 40 plus students.
40 plus students? You can. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Before last month, our record for enrollment of students was, I think, 42 students, and that was done in November 2017. Last month, do you remember how many we had, Francis?
For last month, that is, let me just do a little checking right here. That's around 60.
Around 60. So to date, last month was the best we've had on record. And as he just told you, we just added another 40 plus. You know, I don't know how to express it any other way, but they're doing phenomenal. Phenomenal. You know, especially after coming out of the pandemic, and you know, you had so many schools that were closing, and here we are at the downside of 2022, and we're having some of the best months to date that we've had. So you guys are doing exceptionally well, and I appreciate you. Why don't we just give you guys a round of applause? We'll give you guys a round of applause.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so here's one of my final questions, right? I don't know, maybe it might be, I might not, I might want to keep talking. But final question. If there was one thing that you understood students had an issue or a question about enrollment into DSDT, what would it be, and what is your answer to that question?
Well, what makes DSDT different compared to other schools or colleges, trade schools as well? The main answer with that one, primarily we treat our students as family as well. We actually help them throughout the way until they finish the program, and as well as they will be able to use their benefits and they can finish the program as soon as possible. There's no other type of colleges, universities, trade schools. Maybe there's one, but as far as I know, we're actually the ones who are able to provide diploma like just for 7.5 months. So for
Wow.
me, it's actually a big help for this students, especially general students, for them to be able to use these diplomas, when applying to certain technology companies.
Beautiful. And hey, Carlos, I have a question, and it's more so for the entire team you have presented for us today. For each of you, when a potential student calls, name the top 2 questions they should ask. And I like to have different questions come from each of you, things people should inquire about when they reach out to DSDT. Francis, start with you, and then direct the rest of your team to throw a few tidbits out there before we wrap this up.
Okay, well, it's regarding about if they will be able to use this one, like the certificate of completion as well as diplomas to apply for different companies. As I mentioned, yes, you can definitely use this certificate of completion and diploma because we're actually accredited nationwide.
Yeah, good answer.
All right, good deal, good deal. Who else?
Camille. I know you got an
Yes,
answer.
sir. Yep. Yeah, most of the maybe that question that I'm receiving from the student is what will be the best program that fits them. Okay, so it's the reason why we have options, especially for the diploma program. We have the IT specialist program, which is the BITS, and if they don't think that IT will fits them, we have the digital marketing professionals. So yeah, that's the top question that I received from them.
Okay. 2 more.
Luis, what about you?
Yeah. The most question that I encounter is, will they get be hired once they already finish the program? So we advise them that we cannot guarantee that they will hire ASAP, because at the end of the day, they're the one who will be um, get interviewed with the manager. So, but what we will assure for them will be we assist them, or we do job placement assistance. So until they get hired, we will still assist them until they get hired. So we don't guarantee any job once they finish the program.
Good answer. Good answer. Govey, I know they just threw you under the bus, but
And we can see you. You can see us. Go for it.
Yeah, just to add with Louise, objection that he's receiving on that. I do rebuttals, like I'm actually pointing out the 96% rate placement that we have last year. So that's actually, an ad, I mean, enticing the some of the students when they hear about the placement rate that we had last year. So it's not giving them a guarantees, but giving them the idea, or pointing them out that we have 96% rate last year. And also telling them, if they're asking, I mean, asking them what courses they want to focus on, because some of the programs, say for example the tech professional six, they can actually focus on IT, or they can actually focus on 3D printing. So their choice.
Wow.
Good stuff. Oh, a brother from Jamaica. I'm glad you came back on just in time. We're having the team give tidbits of things that potential students should inquire about, should ask about when you're speaking.
You want some?
So, who is that? Want some what?
It's family in the background.
I'm sorry about that. That was Abigail.
Oh, that's Abigail? Oh, Abigail didn't know we was doing a worldwide broadcast here.
Hey, it's all good, Abigail. It's all good. Okay, my friend. Give me your name one more time.
Tamoy.
Tamoy. Okay, Tamoy.
Tamoy.
Give us a tidbit, something students should ask about, potential students should ask about when they inquire to know more about DSDT as far as the admissions process. What should they ask you right away?
So I think that in regards to question they should ask, they asked about the funding programs and actually how will it benefit them, or will it be a problem in regards to what do they need to be qualified to be funded for the program?
Yeah. Yep.
What kind of funding do they qualify for?
Yep.
Bingo.
Wholeheartedly. Okay, so let me just say this before we go on down this rabbit hole any further. I started working with these individuals, some of them 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago, right, Francis? You've been with us 2 years come next month?
Yes, 2 years in November 30th.
And I feel, and I can almost get goosebumps telling this, but I'm going to say it. I feel such a kindred to them, no different than I have most of the Detroiters that I've hired as well. I really do. I didn't see it in the beginning as just Jamie and I was sitting in this building and we were talking about how we wanted to make an impact on our local community. We didn't know that COVID-19 was going to happen. We didn't know that we were going to have to start looking for talent throughout the world as we have come to have these individuals with us. And I feel like we've grown to not only impact local Detroiters, but we're impacting individuals around the world. And for me, that's big, and it also says a lot about what we have going on here at DSDT. For the individual who at some point is going to be watching this video and they're going to be trying to figure out what their next phase of life is, keeping in mind that not only do we work with what they say general students are those that aren't military based. They don't have a history in the military, or they're not active duty, but we have a program for each of you that would want to get into technology. And we're constantly developing other programs. I don't know if you heard the noise around campus, and by the time you even, see this video, then you'll know about the medical assistance program that we're beginning here. And that should be up and running in the next 2 months. So for the individual that's looking to get into a career, the industry of technology, then should you come into contact with one of the admissions representatives, then hold their feet to the fire. Ask them those tough questions that you've been pondering as you're trying to figure out whether or not this would be good to you. Because I can tell you for a fact that it would. I drunk the Kool-Aid myself. If not for digital marketing, if not for technology, I wouldn't be able to live the life that I have now. And it's not that it's either glam or, any famousness to it. It's just the fact that my life took a better turn when I got into technology. It really did. And so if you are considering it, then when you have that conversation with Francis, Louise, Camille, Joanna, for those that don't know who Camille is, or with Akin, or with Moses, or Glovey, or Tamoy, when you have those conversations, ask those questions that are going to lean you more towards the DSDT, because there's no one else, and they kind of alluded to it earlier, we're family. There's no one else that's going to give you that type of welcoming and embracement in order to match you with the career opportunity that you're looking for. No one else. So we just need you to know that.
Well said, Carlos. Well said. Well, a big thank you to your admissions team.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us, Josh. Carlos, I hope
Our
you guys
pleasure.
have a good
Thank
How
you.
long
See you
is
again.
this gonna take?
Okay, we're done. Back to
All
Carlos.
right.
Me
All
now.
right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. All right.
Have a good day, everyone. Have a good day. God bless. Be safe.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Great information right there with your admissions team. Great dialogue with Amber Boone. A great Tuesday. And we'll have to learn more about the medical assistance program in the coming months that you just mentioned. We'll have to be talking about that a little.
You kind of heard me slip that in there, didn't you?
I kind of heard you slip that in. You know, I'm always keeping my ears open. So that's for another time. We'll keep it for another time. It's out there.
I think though when we get the next conversation that we have, and we're talking about specifically that program, which I started to today, I wanted to see if maybe we can get Jamie on, because it's been a while, and she needs to update us from her perspective of a lot of the things that, you know, she's in the process of bringing to DSDT, as well as she can explain even better the medical assistance program. Okay, because I know my limitation.
Well, it makes sense. We haven't seen Jamie in a while too, so it'd be good to get her back on here anyway.
Absolutely. So maybe we can pin that for next week. I don't know. I have to talk to her. I kind of know her. I'll just check in with her. I'm
Have
just
a conversation with Mrs. Harris.
Hold on, say all that. In case they didn't know, you didn't say it. You didn't have to say it. I'm just saying. All right, Josh.
All right, my good friend. We will see you next week. Amber Boone, admissions team, thank you again. That will do it for the Tech School Podcast, powered by DSDT. See ya.